Welcome, everyone. This is Learning Chromebooks. Huey and I are your hosts today. It's January the 26th, 2023. Welcome. Huey, do you want to say hello? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, that helps, doesn't it? Hi, everybody. I'm glad you're here. We've had an interesting day. We started out with our Tech for Senior Live for an hour earlier and then had a half-hour break and back on again.
So we have for you a busy show today. I think that we have two videos for you. And I think probably, Huey, the best thing to do maybe is we'll start with your video. Maybe we'll have a bit of question and answer after that. And then I have about a half-hour video for you. And then we can have a Q&A after that. So we should, and then we can, so I think that's probably the best way to go about this, eh, Huey?
Yep, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, let's go.
Chrome OS Flex update for January 2023. I'm Huey Poplock. Google's Chrome OS Flex is now available for old PCs and old Macs. The Chrome OS Flex operating system produced by Google is in use. Boosting thousands of basic computers, Chrome OS has a lot of variety of utilizations. Chrome OS Flex version was introduced for this operating system in the past year. You can turn your old computer into a Chromebook. In favor of this free operating system, computers that are no longer updated or obsolete will turn into Chromebooks. Features that both Mac and Windows computers will share in common include the Chrome browser, the user interface, cross-device integration with Android, Cloud Sync, and Google Assistant. The Chrome OS Flex has a fast setup and is a fast computer. Chrome OS Flex was designed to run on older PCs and Macs. According to Google's blog post, the operating system can be installed on computers in minutes. The operating system runs on Intel or AMD x86 processors, but does not yet support ARM. The operating system's features, which can perform tasks very quickly on old computers with its simple and lucid structure, may vary. The system can turn off some of its features according to which hardware is installed. Some features are not available in Chrome OS if it does not support the hardware. Briefly, experience is variable. The Chrome OS Flex system requirements are very simple. You need an Intel or an AMD x86 64-bit compatible. It needs 4 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of storage. How to install Chrome OS Flex on old computers. You install the Chromebook Recovery Utility add-on from the Chrome Web Store. Once downloaded, you click on the icon, insert the USB, and follow the on-screen instructions. There are about 300 devices that can switch the operating system. Non-certified devices can also use the system. The functions that certified computers can use without any problems are as follows: Wi-Fi, Ethernet, internal display, at least one method each of audio input and output, sleep and resume, touchpad, keyboard, USB, non-infrared IR, webcam if applicable, and the system UI or user interface and graphics. If all you want to do is surf the web and use Chrome-based applications, that's great. The system works well and is pretty snappy. But what about running apps from other systems? Unlike real Chrome OS, you can't run Android apps or much of anything else. You can, maybe, run Linux applications, but there are a few catches. The Chrome OS Flex and Chrome OS differences explained. While the Chrome OS is exclusively available for Chromebooks, Chrome OS Flex can be downloaded and installed on any computer with Windows or Mac OS. Chrome OS devices contain a Google security chip that helps to protect the system, but Chrome OS Flex devices do not, as the OS is downloadable on third-party systems. The Chrome OS devices directly manage their updates, while Chrome OS Flex updates are provided by original equipment manufacturers. Number 4, one of the biggest differences and downsides to Chrome OS Flex is that it does not support Android applications or Google Play. Since Chrome OS Flex is installed on devices that do not have a similar layout as those of the Chrome OS devices, some shortcuts might not work while using the Chrome OS Flex. Yet another disadvantage of the Chrome OS Flex is that it does not support fingerprint readers, face recognition cameras, stylus, and other pen-related inputs, and CD or DVD drives. So let's take a look at Flex. You may hear some stuttering. That's not me, it's the equipment, and some noises in the recording. That's because we're recording on a Chrome OS Flex computer that only has 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it's trying to do an awful lot at the same time. So please bear with the noises. Enjoy the demo. I'm on my Chromebook, which is an HP that was a Windows 10 machine. It doesn't have a lot of oomph to it. Let's take a look to see what we've got in this. We're going to come over here to System, Apply. There we go. All right, so we're seeing what we've got. We've got 2 processors. We've got 4 gigabytes of RAM. And does it tell us our storage? Storage is here, and we have 64 gigabytes of storage. It came with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. I also have an SD card in here, but it's not showing that in this display. Let's take a look here. This is just talking about the display, and it shows my network and media galleries. I don't have any, and the current location. Okay, so come back to General. If there's anything here else that we want to look at, it's saying the Chrome OS, but it is Flex. And we'll take a look, and it doesn't show us which version. This may have something to do with that program may not recognize that it's Flex or may not care. But what we're going to do is come here. We're going to look at the information is here. It's saying the microphone and camera's in use. That's because we're recording this. You will notice down here, it shows the version that we're running, and it says it's dev 111.0.5544.0. I don't know if it was in the stable version that it would show that, but we can also see that when we go to Settings, and then we go to About Chrome. And here we'll see the same thing. And we'll click on Check for Updates. And we're up to date. I just updated it a few days ago. Now, if I look at any of these other things, like see what's new, it only tells me the same thing that I could find on my regular Chromebook. It doesn't tell what the Flex version has different. It's only what's new in Chromebook and some of the things about the Chrome OS. It doesn't really talk about Flex at all. I have not been able to locate any articles that talks about the updates in Flex and what the differences are from 109, 110 to 111. It just doesn't tell me. So I can't pass that on to you. However, we are in Flex. We're going to now take a look. We'll go ahead and close this. Let's take a look at what we can do. Now, the difference between Flex and the Chrome OS on a regular Chromebook is we don't have Android apps and the Google Play Store. However, we do have the web store. If we take a look at the web store, these are things that we can install. I'm not saying anything that jumps out at me that I want to use. We can install some apps, but it's from the Chrome Web Store, not from the Chrome Play Store. Now, I want to look at the menu again, and you'll notice here there is a screencast, and we're not using it. Why? I couldn't make it work. I could make it record the video. The video was in one part of the recording. The audio was in another. They didn't pair up. It didn't work in Flex. But a lot of other things do, and I don't have a problem with any of them. I did look at the calculator. The calculator has some pens and so on, I did need to move those out of the way. So we take this and we just move it up here at the top. And so if we do a 55 times 2 and tell it equal, we see it's 110. We can take our pen and we can circle that to show. Now this is in Flex. It would be the same, I believe, on a regular Chromebook, but it may not be in this version. So we see that we've got the pen here. So it looks like we can do a pen anywheres now. And let's see, turn the pen off. If you hit escape, it turns the pen off. Okay, let's see what else we can do here. To take a look, there's this calculator. We looked at files. So all of the things, we can look at our Google Drive, My Drive, and you can look at all of the files that are out on Google Drive. You can look at the downloads on what's on this particular Chromebook. I say Chromebook, Chrome Flex. We can close browser and then open the browser again, see if that's gone. Yes, it is. I can go to Facebook. Obviously, anything that's online I can use. We'll close that. I can get my Gmail. I've got a few things here. I can look at my Google Calendar. It's a little bit slower than my desktop would be, and maybe my regular Chromebook with 4 gigabytes of RAM, there is not a lot of room to speed things up, but you'll see that all of the items that are available. Let me also show you one other thing that you can do with the Flex, which is a free operating system that you can put on a PC or a Mac. I have it on my PC. I can go to MS Office. I have an account, so I can go back, and I don't know if any of you saw anything that I worked on the last couple of days, but there's a file that I was working on. I can open up Word. I can do whatever I need to do in Word. Here's an article. Let's open it. And there's Word with all of the things that it can do. Let's see if it can do the immersive reader. Let's see if we can, let's see if we have view and immersive reader. I just did a video on the immersive reader, so you can look at it from here. But I can also, and I think I didn't turn the sound on. I'm not sure if you're hearing that. I'll know that when I play it back. But it is reading the words in immersive reader. So all of that works on Flex, again, which is free, and you can put it on an old PC, an old Mac, and have a Chromebook. Now, what you're not going to have is anything with Android. I'm sorry to say, and there are a lot of apps that I use on Android. I don't always need them. Obviously, I can do almost everything that I need, including getting my email and going to Facebook and writing anything in Word or using the Google Docs. All of the Google programs obviously will work. Let's close this, and we'll go here. And you've got, I can even zoom with this, which I've done before, but since I'm recording, I don't want to try to do that. But I can open up, as I said, the calculator, but there's Sheets and Google Docs. I can open up Google Docs very easily. Just click on it. It's there. I can then open up an article and work on it in Google Docs. So all the things that I can do on my regular Chromebook and a lot of things that I do on my PC, except for the Android apps and the Play Store, are all available. And let's do one more thing. And I'm not sure whether I've got it set up or not, but let's take a look. We open up Office, and we'll go to Word again. Now, that's the article. So it'll open up in Word. What I want to test is if we can print. So let's see if we can. We go to File and Print. I may not have it set up on this computer, print this document. And it's ready to print, but apparently I don't have it set up. Oh yeah, here we go. I can save it as a PDF. Let's see if it finds my printer. It's not finding, I never set up my printer. Yeah, there it is. If I click on it, set a destination. Okay, it's low on ink, I know that. And if I tell it to print, started, I'm waiting to hear if I can hear it, and I'm hearing it start to print. I don't think you're going to hear it, but it's printing the article of both pages. So I can close that. It's printing now. It just printed the first page. Now the printing is complete. I can close that, and I have a printed sheet. So again, everything that I do on my Chromebook that I need on a regular basis is available with this free operating system that I can put on a very old computer. This has been Chrome OS Flex Update for January 2023. I'm Huey Poplock. And I apologize again for the sound. I recorded it directly on that Flex machine as well, which is really amazing that it's able to do that.
I just want to ask, did anyone have trouble with this? I know there was the crackling in the sound, but Chris said that she lost the sound. Did anyone have problems with not hearing the whole thing? Everyone, it was just Chris, maybe. I don't.
It worked fine.
It worked. Yeah, I didn't have problems hearing it. It seemed to come through fine. It was a little crackly. Chris says, nope, I tried a YouTube and it's fine. Okay, so it was just, that was it. Okay, great. Joel, go ahead.
Unmute and turn on video. Now I hopefully am muted.
Nope, you're
unmuted.
You're unmuted.
I'm
Did you want to
unmuted.
say something? You've got your hand up.
Yeah,
Yes,
now
I
we
did.
can see you. Yep.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you
I did. My
Okay.
question is installing and starting up Google Chrome Flex a one-way street, or do you still have a Windows machine underneath it if you don't run the app?
No, it does not have Windows on there.
So it wipes out, sort of say, Windows.
That's correct. It's only a
No.
64. This one only has a 64 gig SSD card in it, so it wouldn't hold both size-wise at all either.
Huey, can you run the Chrome OS Flex on the USB stick plugged into your computer?
Yes, that you can do. So if you want to still have Windows on there, if you
Right.
when you set up your Flex, you can actually put it on a stick, a USB stick, and put that in. As long as you can boot from the stick, you'll be able to run the operating system, and it won't run and use Windows at all, but it will be able to run the Flex from that from the USB stick.
So that would just address Joel's concerns, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now I have to learn how to make my stick bootable.
I don't think that's
Yeah, it will do that automatically when you create the operating system. Where the difference is you have to make sure that your computer is set to be able to go out and look at and start from a USB stick. You may have to go into the BIOS and add that ability. It may be turned off.
Heard of it, haven't done it so long, I'd have to research.
Yep.
Bob Baxter.
Thank you.
Yes, you may recall a year ago, I tried to run Plex and I could not get it on a USB drive that would work.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Is the setup improved now over a year ago?
You know what? I'm using the same one I use. It's just been updating, so I haven't reinstalled it, but it should work similarly. The one thing you have to, when it asks you what computer, you want to make sure you put Chromebook in there and not the name of the computer, whether it be a Dell or HP or something. And that's where a lot of people, and even I, had trouble the first couple of times I tried. So just follow the directions very carefully.
I think I understood that, but still, it wouldn't recognize the stick. It couldn't. I tried it on 2 or 3 machines, and I tried it on several different USB drives, and it said you can't read it. So
Yeah,
other machines
try-
could read it. I don't know.
The other thing was, as I recall, that you may have to reformat the stick, and I think we talked about that back then as well.
FAT32.
I found that there was
I-
one computer that it wouldn't work on, and there was another one that it would.
Somebody made a comment of figuring out how to build a bootable disk. There is a tool that might help you. It's Linux, but it works across the board. It's I've lost it now. Ventoy, Ventoy. You can run it from a PC or a Mac, and it will set up your USB drive to be bootable, and then you add ISOs to it for the things that you want to run, and Ventoy will then boot up, and it will give you that list, and you pick the one you want to run, and you're off to play with it.
Yeah, but when you create the your Flex stick, I think it asks you, do you want a bootable? Or I think it automatically is bootable because it's got to start to do the install.
Yeah, when you first run Ventoy on your
Yeah.
PC, I did it on a PC. It built the USB drive, and then I in Windows I copied ISO files for a couple of Linux applications onto that drive, put them in another computer, and booted up. Ventoy came up, and I picked the links that I wanted to run, and it comes up and it works.
Yeah, that may be a little bit more advanced for some of the people that are on here than they. It's TMI, but for those of us who do understand those things, yeah, you can do that.
Hey,
Stu,
Rob.
your hand is up.
Actually, I know when you set up the Flex, it sets up several partitions on the drive. And I'm not sure Ventoy will put up with making separate partitions for different things.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well,
Let's hold. I want to hold this off until the end because
Yeah.
we've got a long video coming up and we're going to run out of time. So
Okay.
thanks, Stu. But I just want to make one thing though that I'm a little bit concerned about, Huey, is I want to give the right impression here. In 2023, Chromebooks really have come an awful long way, and there's some
Yep.
very powerful computers now. You're going to see some extremely sophisticated things I'm going to show you in the next video that Chromebooks can do. We're talking about. When you talked about that video and you were looking at, I was sort of looking at and thinking back about Flex, is a lot of stuff you're doing is very low level stuff. It's like going to websites, it's doing this and doing that. I guess my concern is I want to portray Chromebooks now as really a Windows alternative that are very sophisticated computers that can do a lot of pretty impressive things now, and they can. So I guess putting Flex on an old machine is really going to limit the functionality of this in a big way.
right. And for some people, that's all they need.
Correct. That's a very correct statement. But since Chromebooks really are now a mainstream computer that we're using all the time, I want to portray it as a little bit different, than what someone might need for very limited computer skills. You're right, but I'm saying that it does. We've moved on a long way now.
Oh yeah, and even the Flex machine I have is only to demonstrate and to show what Flex is. But yeah, I use a regular Chromebook in my everyday use.
Right. Bob, I'm just going to hold your question till the end, okay? Because I want to
Okay.
get on with this video. Now, my segment, I usually do Chrome OS 109, which of course is the next, and I usually have a video about Chrome OS 109. But of course, I don't have it yet. So those of you who have Chrome OS 109, good news. But there really isn't a lot to show. There's not a lot. So what I did is I picked out about 10 of the features I use all the time, and I wanted to demonstrate on a Chromebook how these work. So I've made the video for you. Let's play this, and then we can have if you have any questions. Now, the important thing about this video that I'm going to show you is You don't have to take notes. It's going to be up on our Tech for Senior channel shortly, and it's all there, and you can go back and look at it over and over. So you don't have to really be concerned about a lot of the things that I show you, because you'll be able to see those in the video. Okay, so let me just let me share my screen, and then we will get on with this. All right, let's just review how we update the Chrome operating system. I know we've done this before, but we're going to come down here to the shelf, which is on the bottom. We're going to come over to the right, click the right side of the shelf, and come up, and we can see the little cogwheel here, which is, of course, our settings. Let's click this. We're going to open this up, and we're going to come down to the bottom left here, over where it says About Chrome OS. I'm going to click this, and then we're going to come over and look up at the top and see that it says version 108.0. Rats, I was hoping it would be 109 today, but that is not the case. But let's check anyway. Maybe we'll get lucky. We're going to come over here and we're going to click the button, check for updates. And it tells me that my Chromebook is up to date, version 108.0. Of course, Chrome, not the operating system, but Google Chrome is now on version 109. So usually these are equal, and so we should have the same version on our Chromebook. This is obviously going to come in the next few days. If we want to see what's new with each version, we can do that. If you want to get help with Chrome OS, you can do that. If you want to report an issue, if we can look here at diagnostics, this tells me what the battery health is. It tells me I have 3 hours and 25 minutes left, and I can even run a discharge test. Now this is an older machine. Let's see how this works. And it's running a discharge test. It says it's going to take less than a minute. So it tells me my battery health is 81%. Whatever the cycle count is, 669, and it tells me my current is 1022 milliamps. It said it passed the discharge test. I come down and it gives me my CPU. It tells me what the chip is in here, and it's an Intel Core i5 chip. It tells me what the current usage is, the temperature, and the current speed, and it tells me how much memory I have, and we can certainly run a memory test. We can look for firmware updates, checks for firmware from external sources, and of course this is all up to date. And any additional information. This is where you change the channel. If you want to, we are on the stable channel, but if you wanted to go to the development channel, this is where you would change the channel. This is also where you find the update schedule. This device will get automatic updates and security updates until June of 2024. Let's talk about the overview button. This is a unique feature on the Chromebook. Most keyboards will not have the overview button like a Chromebook. So it's important that you get to know the button, and it is on the top center of your keyboard. When you click the overview button, you'll see as we come up, and now you can see all the apps that are open. The Chrome OS has this handy overview feature that lets the user easily view the thumbnails of all the running apps and windows. There are several ways to access this though. So let's look at the 3 ways that you can access this. Now I've clicked the overview button, which is located on the top of your Chromebook. But if you prefer to use the trackpad, you can open the overview mode by swiping down with 3 fingers. You can also open the running app thumbnails and windows by swiping 3 fingers up on the screen. From the overview mode, you can easily get a look at the running apps and windows. From there, you can choose an app or activate a window by tapping or clicking on it and bringing it forward into focus. So if you look at my screen now, you'll see that I have Google News open, and I also have Google Search. When I was looking at Toyotas at our Courtney dealership. So if I wanted to bring up the Google News, I can just click here and it will bring up news. And then I can also just click and bring up the Google search. So this is the overview button, and there are 3 ways that you can access this. Keyboard shortcuts. If you wish to become a Chrome OS power user, you must make it a habit to use keyboard shortcuts. They save time by helping you complete tasks quickly and overall boost your productivity. The catch is you have to remember what they are and continuously use them to get better. The most important shortcut to remember is Control-Alt?. This will put up a visual map of the key functions and keyboard shortcuts. Before using shortcuts becomes second nature, you can search for specific shortcuts by typing them in the search bar. So let's say that we've decided to, we want a shortcut for caps lock on and off. So let's type caps in, and here we'll see popular shortcuts. Turn caps on and off is Alt Launcher. So let's do Control-Alt?. That's and that toggles the caps on. So if we do Alt plus Launcher, we see the caps lock is on, and if we do Alt plus Launcher, caps lock is off. So have some fun with that. It's easy to do. Just remember Control-Alt?, and that brings up the menu with all the shortcuts for you. And as we go down here, we can look at the tabs and Windows settings. All these have shortcuts. Page and web browser, shortcuts, system and display, text editing, and accessibility. Here you'll find all the shortcuts for common tasks that you'll be performing. Now you can quickly share files with Chromebooks or Android devices. Chrome OS works very well with Android. For example, you can use Nearby Share to quickly transfer files or share links or photos with Android phones, tablets, or other Chromebooks. Let's see how to do this. On your Chromebook, go to Settings and let's tap and turn on Nearby Share. Let's come down here. We're going to come down to the shelf. We're going to click the right side of the shelf and let's come up to Settings. Now in Settings, we'll come down and you'll see Connected Devices. And of course, I have my Pixel 6 phone connected and enabled. But we're going to, let's come down to Nearby Share. You see the button here, and you'll see that I have it turned on. So you can toggle Nearby Share on or off with this button. Now let's look at what our options here. This is, of course, it's on. This is my identifying account. The device name, we can change the name if we want. And this is the device visibility. Who you can share files with and who can see your computer. And we can change the visibility here so we can use all contacts, some contacts, or we can have make it hidden so no one else can see. So you have your choice and you can choose the visibility that you want. In my case, it doesn't matter because there's nobody else in our house except for my wife. But if you were in a business or a school, you may want to share your files with other teachers, but not specifically students. So this is important that you can change this. And then, of course, the data usage, well, I've set it for Wi-Fi only, but you certainly can use mobile data, Wi-Fi only, or you can use it without the internet, and the files will be shared offline. All right, so how does this actually work? Let's have a look. So let's come over to our Files app. Now that you'll see down on the shelf here as we come across, this is my Files app. I would encourage you to find your Files app. Just click the launcher here and come down, and you should find the Files app here. And I would just drag this down onto your shelf because it's something you're going to be using all the time. So let's come to our Files menu. We'll click Files. And if we come down here, we're going to see two items here. This is called Scan. This is a scan that I did right here. Let's see what it shows. This is a receipt. This is a repair I had done on my stove. So let's say I want to send this over to my phone. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this, and we're going to come up and say Share. I'm going to click on Share, and now you'll see it says Nearby Share. So let's click this, and it's scanning for nearby devices. And I have my Pixel phone sitting right next to me here, and it should find that. So right now it's scanning it. It finds my phone. So I'm going to click now my phone and hit Next. And now it's transferring the file from my Chromebook over to my phone by Wi-Fi. So if you have a smartphone, I think it's important that you connect the device to your Chromebook, because then you can simply unlock your Chromebook with your phone. It's simple. You just use your PIN code for your phone and it will unlock your Chromebook. Let me show you how that works. So we're going to take my Chromebook and we're going to come down, and I'm going to show you on your Chromebook how you set this up. So let's come to your settings here. And we're going to come down, and what we see is connected devices right here. You'll see connected devices, and you'll see that my Pixel 6 is now connected to my Chromebook. Again, you can connect most cell phones with this service. So let's come over, and you'll see that I've toggled this on. So the image I showed you a few minutes ago, you saw that I could unlock my Chromebook with my phone. As soon as I put my PIN code into my phone, it unlocked my Chromebook. So if we come to this little button here, here's where we see all the services that we can use with this. So the first thing is Smart Lock. Unlock your Chromebook with your phone, and I have that turned on. The next one down is instant tethering. In other words, you can connect to the internet through your phone. If your phone has a cellular connection and you don't have any Wi-Fi connected to your Chromebook, this will tether to your phone, and you can actually get your internet from your phone's mobile service. Again, I don't use that service, so I have mine turned off. The next thing is relatively new, is the Phone Hub. This is a very powerful feature of Chromebooks. And let's have a look here. Assess your phone's capability from your Chromebook. So you're going to link this to your phone, and I have mine turned on. So recent Chrome tabs, view recent tabs from your phone. So on your Chromebook, if you have any tabs open on your phone, again, they'll be synced to your Chromebook. Recent photos, view your phone's photos and media. Again, this will be synced and linked to your Chromebook. I have notifications turned off. I get enough notifications. I don't want any more. And then, of course, there's Wi-Fi sync networks with your phone. So if it works the other way, so if you have a Wi-Fi network that you're connected to your on your Chromebook, you can sync that to your phone. And I have that turned on. Now, if you want to disconnect this, disconnect your phone from your Chromebook, you can click this button and just disconnect it, and it goes back to the way it was. So this is a very interesting and powerful feature of your Chromebook, linking it to your phone. I like that because I don't have to remember my PIN number. I can simply bring my phone with me and it unlocks my Chromebook. One of the common features I use on my Chromebook is the ability to use the screen capture to save images to Google Photos. I tend to use Google Photos as my catch-all, where I like to dump stuff into so I can retrieve it later on for projects that I'm doing. Let me show you how easy that is. So I'm going to take this this article here, and maybe I want a picture of this car, the Polestar. So I'm going to simply come down to the bottom, and what we're going to do is we're going to click the bottom right hand corner here, and we're going to come to screen capture. Now what we're going to do is come over here, and we're going to select a picture of the car. And there we go. And so all we're going to do here is we're going to capture this. We're going to click this. And that, of course, does a number of things. First of all, it copies it to the clipboard so you can paste this wherever you want. You could paste it in an email and Gmail or whatever. But in our case, it's being saved on our local hard drive. And what we want to do is I want to put it in Google Photos. Now, very simple. We could come over to Files and find it in Files. But what I want to do here is come up and Show in the folder. And click this. And here is the screenshot, and it takes you right to this image. And this is now in our image scan folder, and it's sitting right here. This is the one that we just did. Now, it's highlighted, so it's very easy. I'm simply going to come up to the top here, and you'll see this little share button here. We're going to click this, and right here you'll come. You might have to go down a bit, but mine is right here. Photos, upload to Google Photos, right here. And you just click that. And there's one file and the account. And we're going to come down here and we're going to click Upload. And this is going to upload this file to our Google Photos. So we're going to click this. And it should be done. Let's have a look. Let's go over to Google Photos. And here's our picture right in Google Photos. So that's a very easy way in which you can save images to Google Photos. All right, the other feature I wanted to show you is coming down to the shelf. This is called the shelf. And as we move across, you'll see there's a little picture of my cell phone. This is called the Phone Hub. We looked at that earlier, and let's click on this and see what happens. You'll see that you have three buttons at the top here. One is to enable hotspot. What happens is that you may be in a situation where you're traveling and you don't have any Wi-Fi connection to your Chromebook, but your cell phone is using cellular data, and it can connect and make your connections through that cellular data to the internet. Well, your phone can actually work as a hotspot, and it broadcasts the internet out from the phone, and it has its own SSID, which is zone identifier. And what will happen is when you click this, you'll be able to choose the network and connect to the phone. So now your Chromebook is connected to your phone by Wi-Fi, but your phone is connected and getting the information from your mobile data connection on your phone. So that's pretty cool. You can also silence your phone if you're working and you don't want your phone to be bothering you. And as we come over here, this is to locate your phone. So if you left your phone in the house somewhere and you can't find it, click this and your phone will ring and you can find it. There is a perfect emoji for use in any situation, whether you're chatting with a friend or responding to an office email. Chrome the emoji picker that you can use to find the right emoji for any situation. To open the emoji picker, press the everything key, shift, and spacebar together. Let's try that. Look at all the emojis there. From here you can scroll all the available emojis. There are a lot. So these are all the emojis that you can choose. You also have your choice of a lot of different symbols that you can use as you want to insert these in any of the software that you're using. Really an amazing number of emojis, and that is using the everything key, shift, and the space bar together. Google added a holding spot on the shelf called Tote. That's T-O-T-E. It's where you find your most recent screenshots, but you'll also be able to see downloads without having to launch the File Explorer. You can pin files to Tote too, which means you can keep an important document ready and available without searching for it. Let's have a look at the Tote. We're going to come down now. It's on the shelf here, and as we come over, here it is right here. As we click this, we're going to see those two images that we just recently did a capture of. Now I wanted to show you another feature that I'm using today. If you look at my cursor, you'll see that it's rather large. If we come down, let's go to settings, and we're going to go to accessibility. So we're going to come down here. We're going to come down to cursor and touchpad. Automatically clicks cursor size, cursor color, and more. Now, let's look at the options we have here. Now, I have not turned this on. This is automatically click when a cursor stops. So if you're coming over here and you stopped, it would automatically click this. I find that a little confusing, but it does work for many people. The next one here, show large mouse cursor. I have that turned on. This is normally the size of the cursor, but I want a large cursor for presentations. Now you can adjust the size of the cursor. Watch my cursor as I change this. It's going to get smaller and larger. So you can change the color, the size of this cursor as we move that. Again, we can change the color. I've defaulted it to black, but we could do a yellow cursor if you like. There you go. And also, this is really cool. Highlight the mouse cursor when it's moving. Let's turn that on and see what happens. There we go. So now that makes it easier for you to follow along as I'm moving along. That's amazing. And you can just toggle that on or toggle that off. Okay. As I told Huey in our last show, I said I haven't put a name to the video yet, so I'm going to use ChatGPT to come up with some great names for it. So anyway, that's a lot of information there, but that's some of the things that I use my Chromebook for, and you'll see that there's lots of applications there that you can use it. Any questions? What do we got? We got 8 minutes left. Any questions for anyone has? Dennis, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A couple quick ones, Ron. On that tote, if you put stuff in the tote, you're saying you could leave some things in there forever if you wanted to, correct?
Yeah, I don't think it leaves them in there forever. I can't. That's a good question. I don't think so. Because when I go back, they're not there. So I'm not sure how long it leaves them in the tote, but through the session that you're in, they'll stay in the tote. But I think when you log out or you finish your session, they go out.
Okay. And on the cursor size, there's not one that has a clear cursor, right? That you can see through the cursor. Okay.
No.
And when you said you can do those screen captures and put it in the Google Photos, I've never used Google Photos. Do you have to sign up for Google Photos separately?
You've never used Google Photos. Chris, where's Chris Gould? She was in the show here. She's a teacher of Google Photos and has a bunch of books on Google Photos.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
Yes, I'll have to give you your name.
Oh no. Oh no.
Exactly. So Dennis, well, yeah, I like you. I use Google Photos so much because I use it more like Google Drive. I dump everything into Google Photos, and I just I put everything there. I mean, you could make the argument of why use Google Photos, why just not leave it in Google Drive? It's the same. It's just a place where you put things, right?
But you log into Google Photos separately than the Drive, or is it just?
Yes. It's
You
Google
have to
Photos
create-
is part of Google, but you log into Google Photos.
Go, Chris.
You have to register separately for that.
Mhm.
No, it's the same account.
Yeah, it's the same account.
It's the same account. Okay. One other question, and maybe I should know this, but when I turn on my Chromebook and I click on Chrome and I open up my my internet, I have my email. It's the first one that pops up. It's email. When I go to, click on my on the right-hand side, my little thing with my initial, there's no thing in there that says to close. Like on another computer, I can close my Gmail. Can you not, am I misunderstanding? Can you not close your Gmail on your Chromebook?
So your Gmail is just a tab in your browser. So if you want to close it, just close the tab.
But if I close it, then how do I log back into it when I launch my browser?
There's a little icon underneath on your Chromebook. You'll see it just below the bar there on the top, and it says Gmail. Click that, and it'll take you back in. But what you can do, don't forget, you can set in settings. You can set on that tab what your default settings are that you want when you start your Chromebook up. And if you don't want your Gmail to start up, just put, you don't have to put anything in there. You can set those tabs to customize whatever features you want in your Chrome settings, right? So if you don't want Gmail to come up when you start your Chromebook, you can change that.
Is there any kind of a security issue if I just left it to open my Gmail all the time, which I use certainly quite often, but if I leave it turned on all the time, even when I shut down my Chromebook and everything else, any increased security issue with that or no?
No, because you have to log back into your account with your Chromebook. As soon as you close it, it's going to lock you out, and then you'd have to put your passcode in to log back in and bring it up, right?
Okay, but no one else can get into my
No.
like I logged into Gmail on another computer, and it told me I had an account. I already had it open somewhere, and it really startled me. And then
Right.
months later, it was on my.
No, that's not a problem in a Chromebook. That's very true in Windows. You have to make sure that you log out when you leave it on a PC, because if you don't, someone coming back in will log right into your account, right?
Right.
But that's not the case in a Chromebook.
Okay. And on that Chrome OS Flex you were talking about, that's not like a Chromebook. It doesn't keep like a backup copy. Like my Chromebook, it has a backup system in it for, what I mean? It wants to load the backup sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Or no?
Yeah. Huey, what do you think? Does it?
I don't think it does, but
I don't think so.
that's the and the chip that's on a Chromebook prevents you from installing the operating system, where with Flex you're installing it on that computer. So it still may do it, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Thanks.
Before we go to Jolin, I do want to address with Linda Jackson. Linda, if you want to go to the online Word, you just type in your address bar, type in office.com, and then you sign into your account. And at that point, you can use the Word, on the online Word from your account.
Thank you.
Yeah, I pushed a button on mine, and I had somewhere in the recording had signed in with office.com. It might have been either another video or I had cut it out. So I just want to make sure that you can get to it that way. And it should do the things you want to do, especially if you have an Office, which is now Microsoft 365 account.
And I just checked. I opened up a Word document on the web version, and track changes was available.
Great. Super. Thanks. Jolin.
Hey guys, sorry I was late. I was having my twinkle toes done. It's my one joy of the month. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. We were talking about the swiping to open the oh, what's it called? The overview.
Mhm.
And when I swipe up, it opens the overview, but the video said swipe down. When I swipe down, it opens the apps back up.
No, I think that was right. A swipe up opens the
Go
Windows
back
view.
and read it. I looked at it differently. Chris, did you too? Because Chris also had the same.
I checked it
agree.
twice.
He
It
said
was
swipe
different than what
down.
was on the screen.
He said swipe down.
Okay, thank you.
There's swipe up and swipe down. There were 3 ways. There's the overview key. You swipe up.
In that slide, it said swipe down to go to. I keep forgetting what it's called.
All right, I'll check it. I'll check it. I'll
Check
check it.
that and make
I'll
sure,
check
because
it,
you may
right.
have to switch that.
I want to check it before I publish it.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, I wanted to make sure that in the emojis, and I do this all the time, you can type in a word. Like if I love to add a sunflower to my notes, my everything. So
Oh, okay. Mhm.
type sunflower at the top, or hand, or globe, or
Oh, yeah.
fire.
I'm out here.
Christmas.
You know that you don't expect me to stand there.
Huh.
Sorry.
Excuse me? Oh,
No,
okay.
no, it's American.
He was talking, and then the what else is? Oh, and the auto click that you showed. I would think that would be wonderful. So because we get folks coming into the computer club that have a little bit of a hand tremor. So if they're moving around and it gets to a place and it stops, and they can have it click. So if they're handily handicapped.
Yes.
Anyway, that's a marvelous thing. I will
But
definitely.
it would drive you nuts because I mean, imagine you're power users who are I'm hovering over stuff. I don't want to click it, right? I don't want to click
Oh, I
it.
know exactly, but
It drive me nuts, right?
but
you're right.
someone who's
Right.
could use that help, I think, is very
Yep, good one. Yep.
excellent.
Don't hover over a delete button, or that's serious.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, but it still will ask you, are you sure you want to delete?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But it drove me nuts. I tried it.
Oh, I know,
just-
it's not something to use for everyday
Yeah,
use, but
yeah.
in certain circumstances and certain needs, I think it would be terrific.
Yep, I agree. Yep. Bob, go ahead.
So with a Chromebook, it has an end of life based on manufacturing date, if I'm stating that
Correct.
correctly.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Does that apply to Plex? I don't
No.
think so.
No, because it's
No.
not a Chromebook.
Right.
It doesn't have that.
Software.
If it runs on a computer, it will run. It'll keep running, and you can keep updating it.
Just want to
You cannot install Flex on a Chromebook that's past date, though, because of the chip that's on the motherboard to prevent you from to protect you while the Chromebook is good. When it gets to the date where you can't update it anymore, it's really involved to try to do an update. I was going to do it on one I have, and when I started looking at the instructions, you really got to take your computer apart and get that chip off of the motherboard. And I mean, it's more work than it's worth.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
And Ron,
No.
that was a great
Yeah.
presentation you did as a summary of how you use that Chromebook. Really
Thanks.
appreciate that.
Thanks. Bill, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with Chris and Joe on swiping up and down with 3 fingers. Karen and I both have Chromebooks, and neither one of them will work with the 3 fingers for some reason.
Mine worked,
went in-
but it was backwards from what he had put in the. Mine works. It just works backward. It works opposite to what he had.
Right, but neither one of ours would even work, but it will work with the overview button.
Mhm.
And the second thing, which may relate to it, is Karen's Chromebook seems extra sensitive on if your finger is within a half an inch of the trackpad, it seems to click on things. Is there a setting somewhere to adjust the sensitivity?
Yes. And Bill, I was going to mention, that's the first thing I was going to say is look in configuration in trackpad. And some of the Chromebooks you'll have a configuration setting to your trackpad, and that may be affecting your 3-finger swipe up or down in that it may not recognize 3 fingers. So make sure that there could be a setting in your trackpad to in trackpad settings in your Chromebook to correct that. So you may want to have a look at that.
Yeah, you should be able to adjust the sensitivity, but not all Chromebooks are built the same.
Correct. That's right. That's the issue.
My mileage may vary.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. All right, thanks. Murray, go ahead. And our last question.
Okay, well,
Make it a short one.
It's a comment. I'm running 110. So I just looked quickly at what was new in 109 and 110. And in 109, the thing that looks most interesting, and I'm not sure if you could have done it earlier, but it says one of the new things is being able to edit and do all kinds of interesting things with PDF files, which I
Right.
think that's the most useful thing I can see. in
That's
109.
next month, Murray. That's next month.
I'm just giving a sneak preview. And there's nothing very interesting after that in 110, I didn't think.
All
But
right.
anyway, we'll see next month.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of next month, we will Huey, what are we next? February, I guess. Yeah, we're
Yep,
back in a
yep.
month.
February
23rd.
28th, I believe it is.
Is it
All
28th?
Yep.
Well, the last
February,
day.
whatever the fourth Thursday is in February, we'll be back. Thanks everyone for coming. We will have the we'll have all
23rd,
these
No, it is
videos
the
up.
23rd. I thought so. Yeah,
23rd, yep.
23rd.
Okay.
Hopefully
28th is a Tuesday.
hopefully we'll be out of COVID lockdown. We're into that again.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
So they just
All right.
delivered our lunch.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good day.
We will see you again in another month. And as I said, the videos will be up later on today or tomorrow. And then because I know there's a lot of information there you'll probably want to look at. So anyway, enjoy your Chromebook, and we'll see you in a month's time.
Hey,
Bye now.
good
Bye,
video-
everybody.
Good videos, Ron and Huey.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Mm.